Hey guys, Darren here. I'm just going to be doing my predictions for the 2018-19 CONCACAF Nations League. Draw was taking place back in March in Miami, I believe it was. So yeah, they basically divvied up the 34 teams. There were six nations that weren't involved in the qualifiers. That was Mexico, United States, Costa Rica, Honduras, Panama, and Trinidad and Tobago. And those are all because they all made the CONCACAF hexagonal round, the final stage. So they all got a bye right into League A. So how it's going to work is of the 34 teams, there was a draw. They're basically going to be doing a play down against all each other, and then the top six teams will join the six teams that I've already mentioned in League A, as well as with the Gold Cup expanding from 12 to 16 teams, the top 10 teams in these qualifiers will qualify with the six teams into the 2019 Gold Cup. So how they did the draw this year was they basically divided it into four pots. So pot A contained the top 8 teams in the qualifiers, which were Jamaica, Canada, Haiti, El Salvador, Martinique, Cuba, French Guiana, and Guadeloupe. Pot B were the next 9 teams: Nicaragua, St. Kitts and Nevis, Curacao, Suriname, Antigua, and Bermuda, Dominican Republic, and Bermuda. Then you had Guyana and Belize. Pot C was the next 9 ranked teams: Bonaire, Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, Puerto Rico, Bahamas, Dominica, and Aruba. Pot D contained the final 8 teams, which was the Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos Islands, Montserrat, United States Virgin Islands, St. Maarten, which is the French side of St. Maarten, the Netherlands side of St. Maarten, and the British Virgin Islands. It looked pretty good. Some teams, there's going to be some interesting games. We've got some derby games between some of the teams that are involved, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of this and seeing what teams are going to be qualifying. I'm thinking there's going to be some upsets, and it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a good thing for the Confederation. I know some of the high-ranked teams like United States and Mexico might not be looking forward to this, just for the fact that they don't get to play as many international friendlies. But the way they kind of design these formats is that all the teams only give you one game in a window into the league, and so you still could organize another international friendly against another opponent if you want. But anyway, let's get right into it just because we're going to start. Match day 1. We got Dominica taking on Suriname. Dominica at home. 2 very close ranked teams. I'm going to give it to Suriname just on the road. Suriname's got a little bit more depth in the roster. So I'm going to give it to Suriname at a 1-0. You got Guyana taking on Barbados. Again, 2 closely ranked teams. I'm going to say Guyana just the fact that they're at home. They're going to take it 2-1. Then you got Anguilla taking on French Guiana. French Guiana hoping to make a repeat. They were in the 2017 Gold Cup where they finished 4th place in a pool with Costa Rica, Canada, and Honduras. Who knows how they could have finished. They might have been able to get that 3rd spot if it wasn't for there was a little bit of a scandal where they ended up drawing Honduras 0-0, but because they played Florent Maluda, who ended up being cap tied with France, and this was an official FIFA tournament, they ended up getting a 3-0 loss due to the fact that they played them, and then I believe they ended up losing the last game, so they ended up finishing 4th place. So I think they're going to want to get back to the 2019 Gold Cup and try to get back into things. I think with them being on the road, they got some good quality in their depth. I'm going to say they're going to take it 1-0. Then you got Antigua and Bermuda taking on St. Lucia. Antigua is at home. I'm going to say they're going to take it 1-0. Then you got Belize taking on the Bahamas. Very 2 close-ranked teams. I'm going to say there's not much between them. I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 game. St. Vincent and the Grenadines taking on Nicaragua. Again, same thing. St. Vincent's at home. I don't see much difference between them, so I'm going to say a 0-0 tie. Next, you got Cuba taking on Turks and Caicos. Cuba is going to be one of the stronger sides in this. I don't see Turks and Caicos putting up a fight, especially on the road. So I'm going to say Cuba's going to take that game 2-0. Then you got Montserrat taking on El Salvador. El Salvador is going to be one of the strongest teams in this qualifier. I think a lot of teams that ended up getting them in the draw were pretty upset and not looking forward to that game. But yeah, El Salvador, they're hoping to make the Gold Cup as well as League A, and you know what? They have a good shot at doing both. I'm going to say they're going to take this game 3-0. Then you got Bonaire taking on the Dominican Republic. 2 very close ranked teams. Again, like I said, it's going to be very hard to distinguish these small countries. They're so close. There's not much between them. But yeah, I'm going to say Bonaire just because they're at home. They're going to take it 1-0. Next, you're going to have the United States Virgin Islands taking on Canada. I know from some of the press releases, Canada is really wanting to make a push to, according to John Herdman, the head coach, he really wants to go and within the next 4 years and close the gap on Costa Rica and kind of eliminate that gap. And they want to spread a gap between Honduras and Panama. Right now, I still think they're a little bit behind, but with some of the up and coming players that they got playing in the high leagues here and getting into those leagues, I think they have a shot at it, but who knows? But like we said, let me know what you guys think. 4 years, that's a long time, so I think you might be able to. Like, they were pretty close. They played to a 0-0 draw in the 2017 Gold Cup. Yeah, I don't see, maybe, but yeah. Anyway, back to that game. The thing is, it is an away game for Canada, but it's played in Florida because United States Virgin Islands don't have a suitable venue to be played. Canada's biggest ever win, I believe, was 7-0. I think it was against the British Virgin Islands, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I think so. I think they're going to break that record. I think it's going to be an 8-0 win. I think Canada's got a lot more depth in their squad now, especially in John Herdman's called in a very strong squad for this game. So, yeah, sorry, guys, Virgin Islands, I don't mean to knock you, but yeah, I think Canada's going to take this game 8-0. Then you got Aruba taking on Bermuda. I'm going to say Bermuda's going to take that 2-1. They're a stronger side than Aruba, and I know they're on the road, but still I think they have enough quality to do it. Then you got Jamaica taking on the Cayman Islands, the Reggae Boys. They're the strongest squad or the strongest team, highest ranked team in these qualifiers. I don't see Cayman Islands putting up any shot against them. I'm going to say Jamaica's going to take that game 6-0. They're a little bit stronger, Cayman Islands, but I still say Jamaica's going to take it. Then you got St. Kitts and Nevis taking on Puerto Rico. Again, St. Kitts, they're one of those funny teams. They do really good sometimes against some of the stronger teams, and then they sometimes don't perform sometimes, but I think they're going to be, because this is going to be one of the bigger competitions that are going to be involved, I think they're going to come out and I think they're going to put up a good result. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1 game. Then we got Haiti taking on Saint Maarten, the Netherlands side. Haiti is a strong team. I think they're one of the strongest for sure in these CONCACAF qualifiers. I'm going to say there's going to be not much that St. Martin's going to do with them. I'm going to say, especially with it being at home, I'm going to say it's going to be a 4-0 game for Haiti. Then you got Curacao taking on Grenada. Again, Curacao was involved in the 2017 Gold Cup. They're going to definitely try to get back there, and I think they should be able to. They're going to win that game 2-0. Then you got St. Martin, the French side, taking on Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe's strong country, again, when it comes to these smaller Caribbean and Central American countries. I'm going to say Guadeloupe's going to take it 2-1. And then the last game of match day 1, you got Martinique taking on the British Virgin Islands. British Virgin Islands are ranked the lowest ranked team in CONCACAF. They haven't really had much going for them. They're a very small country. It's going to be very hard for them, but I don't see them getting past Martinique. Martinique's one of those stronger countries. They were one of the group teams in Pot A. I'm going to say Martinique's going to take that game 3-0. So now we're on to match day 2. You got French Guiana taking on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. French Guiana is going to take that game 3-0. It's a home game for them. I don't see them really having too much of an issue with that game, so that'll be pretty good for them. Then you got the United States Virgin Islands taking on Curacao. Again, United States Virgin Islands, I'm sorry, guys. I know it's a home game for you, but you guys aren't really playing at home. Curacao's got a lot of quality. They got a lot of players playing in the Netherlands Division 2. Yeah, I don't see them doing much with that, so I'm going to say Curacao's going to win that game 4-1. I think United States Virgin Islands may get a goal. We'll see, but I'm going to give them one just to, I think they're going to get one. Then you got Bahamas taking on Antigua and Bermuda. I'm going to say Antigua and Bermuda is going to take it 1-0 on the road. Dominican Republic taking on the Cayman Islands. I think Dominican Republic's just too strong for the Cayman Islands. They're going to take it 2-0. Bermuda's taking on St. Martin, the Netherlands side of the island. Again, another good game, but I still think Bermuda is too strong for St. Martin. St. Martin's pretty hard. Like, maybe if the whole country was together, but because they are divided and there's not really a big population to go on, they're going to be tough to win games for them. I think they're going to be a League D team, but we'll see. But yeah, anyway, Bermuda is going to take that 2-0. Then we got Grenada taking on Cuba. Cuba's on the road, but again, Cuba's a good team for like this qualifiers. I think they're going to do good in this game. I think they're going to win it 2-1. Then we got the Turks and Caicos Islands taking on Guyana. Guyana's going to take that game 2-1. I don't think there's going to be too much difference there. Suriname's taking on the British Virgin Islands. I think that's going to be a pretty good game for Suriname. It's going to be a home game. They're going to want to show up for their fans. They're going to win that game 3-0. Then you got Bonaire taking on the Reggae Boys, Jamaica. Jamaica, they're going to be tough. Like I feel bad for any team going up against them. But yeah, I'm going to say Jamaica's going to win that 2-0 on the road. Then you got the French Saint Maarten taking on Saint Kitts and Nevis. I think Saint Maarten's going to score a goal at home, but they're not going to be able to beat Saint Kitts. I think it's going to be 3-1 Saint Kitts. Then you got Montserrat taking on Belize. Two close-ranked teams. I don't, again, see a lot of difference between them. Like, it's so hard to pick some of these smaller nations, but, I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I think Belize is going to be able to squeak one right at the end. I think Montserrat's going to go up, and then Belize is going to squeak one in the end just to keep it a draw. Then you got Nicaragua taking on Anguilla. 2-0 Nicaragua. I don't see much in it for Anguilla. And Nicaragua is just a strong team. Puerto Rico taking on Martinique. Martinique's going to win that one. I think it's going to be 2-0. Martinique's, again, like I said, a strong country when it comes to these qualifiers. I don't see many teams, unless they come up against a Pot A team, it's one of the stronger ones, beating them, or if anything, a draw. But yeah, I think Martinique's going to come away with that one. Next game you got is going to be Canada versus Dominica. They've met twice in the 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Canada ended up, I believe, winning 2-0 in Dominica, and then they won 4-0 in the return leg. I think it's going to be, which was 4-0. I don't see much difference in that. I think Canada's going to win it again 4-0. They got more depth, but it could be more. But I think 4-0 is a safe bet. I'm going to go with that for Canada. And then the final game of match day 2, you got Guadeloupe taking on Aruba. I think Guadeloupe's going to win. They got a lot of quality in their depth, so I'm going to say 2-0 Guadeloupe over Aruba. Match day 3, you got the British Virgin Islands taking on Bonaire. I think Bonaire is going to take that game 2-1 on the road. I don't see British Virgin Islands really doing much in this, so that's what I think. Grenada taking on Saint Maarten, the French side. I'm going to say Grenada is going to win that game 1-0. Then you got Bermuda taking on El Salvador. Again, El Salvador is just one of those countries that it's going to be hard for any team going up against them. So I'm going to say El Salvador on the road is going to take it 2-0. Aruba versus Montserrat, two very, very close-ranked teams. I don't know if they've ever played each other. I could be wrong, but I don't know if they have. I'm going to say it's a 0-0 draw. Then Belize taking on Puerto Rico. Again, like I said, it's too tough picking some of these teams. But yeah, I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw there. Then I got Cuba taking on Dominican Republic at home. Cuba at home. Cuba's, like I said, they're a strong team when it comes to this. I'm going to say Cuba's going to win that game 2-1. Then you got Nicaragua taking on Haiti. Haiti's going to be going for that, and they're going to be really pushing for that League A and Gold Cup. So I'm going to say Haiti's going to take it 2-0. Then you got the Cayman Islands taking on St. Lucia. Don't see too much in it when it comes to difference in teams. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Jamaica taking on Suriname. The Reggae Boys, I believe that's their final home game of the qualifiers. Reggae Boys are going to take that game 3-0. I don't think Suriname's going to do much against them. I think Reggae Boys are going to do that easily. Next, you got the Turks and Caicos Islands versus St. Vincent and Grenadines. That's tough. I'm going to say 1-1. Again, too tough to call. Bahamas versus Anguilla at home to Bahamas. I think Bahamas are going to get away with it. I think they're going to win that game 1-0. Yeah, I think it's going to be 1-0. Barbados versus United States Virgin Islands. I believe that's the USVI's first away game. I think Barbados is just going to be too good for them, so they're going to win 2-0. Barbados is going to win 2-0. Then you got St. Kitts and Nevis taking on Canada. Now, this is going to be a fun one because St. Kitts and Nevis and Canada have only played twice, I guess. I can't remember if it was back in 2011 or 2015. It was either for the 2014 World Cup qualifiers or the 2018 World Cup qualifiers. It was 0-0 in St. Kitts when Canada faced them, and then it was 4-0, I believe, when St. Kitts went to Canada. Again, Canada's got a lot stronger of a squad. They got a Junior Hoylett playing in the Premier League. You got Scott Arfield playing for Rangers in the Scottish Premier League. Alphonso Davies, I'm sure everybody's heard of him if you're an MLS fan. He just signed that contract with Bayern Munich. He's going to be going there in January. Don't know if he'll actually be playing there or if they'll loan him out right away. But yeah, they got a lot more depth now than what they did back there. I'm going to say Canada's going to win that game 4-1. I'll say 4-1. I think that's a good bet. I don't know. Tell me what you think, guys. Curacao taking on Guadeloupe. Curacao, again, Guadeloupe's a strong team. They're ranked higher than Curacao, but I think Curacao is going to do it with home. I think they're going to win it 2-1. Martinique taking on Antigua and Barbuda. I'm going to say it's 1-0 Martinique. Then you got Saint Maarten, the Netherlands side taking on Dominica. Again, not much in between them. I think it's going to help Saint Maarten that they're at home. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 0-0 draw. Then we got ourselves our first derby game of the whole tournament. You got French Guiana taking on Guyana. French Guiana has got a that's tough. I think it's going to be good, but I think with the home crowd French Guiana has, I think they're going to take it. I think it's going to be a 2-0 game. I don't see much. I don't think Guyana's going to do it, but I could be wrong. They might get a goal. Let me know what you guys think. So final match day, and this will be pretty much, we'll have kind of a good ballpark of what teams need to do in order to get in each league. I really don't see too much in it. I believe in this day it's mostly pot A versus pot A, pot B versus B, C versus C, and D versus D. And I think you got one game that's pot B versus pot C in this one. I'm not too sure, but I think that's how it went. So first game, you're going to have the British Virgin Islands taking on Turks and Caicos Islands. I don't, like I said, I think it's going to be 1-1. Then you got St. Vincent and the Grenadines taking on Bonaire. I think St. Vincent's going to take it 1-0. Now, you got Anguilla taking on the United States Virgin Islands. They're very low-ranked teams. I believe United States Virgin Islands is ranked 30th in these qualifiers, which would be 36th out of the 41 teams in CONCACAF. And Anguilla is ranked 33rd, so 39th. So there's only 3 rankings points ahead of each other. I think the United States Virgin Islands are going to take it, though. I think it's going to be a 1-0 game with them. Let's give them a win. I think they're going to do it. Then you got the Cayman Islands taking on Montserrat. I think Cayman Islands are going to win 1-0. And yeah, I think that's how it's going to go. Then Suriname versus St. Kitts Nevis. It's on the road. It's 2 very close teams. I don't think there's much separating them. I'm going to say it's going to be a 0-0 draw. Then you got Guyana taking on Belize. I think between those two, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I'll go with that. Guadeloupe and Martinique. Not much separating those teams. Like I said, these are all those closer pot games where I think the more closer ranked teams are going to play each other. I'm going to say that's a 1-1 draw. This is going to be a fun game to watch, this next one. It's going to be El Salvador at home to Jamaica. This was the one that, excuse me, when everybody was looking at the draw, it's one of the games that everybody was looking at to be like, what could happen here? Jamaica hiring team, but it's in El Salvador. I'm going to say it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I don't know exactly who's going to go up at what point, but I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I would lean more on Jamaica maybe taking it, but I still think it's going to be a 2-2 draw, which both teams, I think based on, because they have scored a lot of goals, they will score a lot of goals in this. I think it'll still be enough to put them through to League A and still get them in pot B, or Gold Cup, sorry, in League A. So yeah, that'll be a good one to watch. I don't see too much in it when it comes to those teams. But anyway, then you got Puerto Rico taking on Grenada. I think Grenada's going to take it 1-0. Barbados versus Nicaragua. I don't know. That's going to be... I think Nicaragua is going to take it 2-0. Dominican Republic versus Bermuda. I think it's going to be a 1-1 game. Haiti versus Cuba. I think it's going to be Haiti 2-0. And then Antigua and Barbuda taking on Curacao. Curaçao's going to take it 1-0. Curaçao's just got too much in their lineup. That's good. Then you got St. Lucia taking on Aruba. Versus Aruba. St. Lucia's, I'm going to give it to them 1-0. Now this is going to be a fun derby game. I think these countries are going to really enjoy this. You got St. Maarten versus St. Maarten. Both countries on the same island, just split off due to one being French, one being from the Netherlands controlled. They're only 1 ranking point off. I'm going to say it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Let's have some fun with it. Hopefully one of the teams can win it, but I'm going to say it's 1-1. That's too close to call. Then I got Dominica taking on the Bahamas. I'm going to say it's again 1-1 draw. There's not going to be much between them, so that's what I think is going to happen. Final game is going to be Canada versus French Guiana. These two teams met in the 2017 Gold Cup. Canada won the game 4-2. That was in the States. I don't think with it being in Canada, French Guiana is going to be able to do it, especially with the squad getting a lot stronger. Like Canada's got a lot of good players coming up. Like I said, they just Jonathan David. I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but he's with KA Ghent. He is just lighting it up. He's had, I believe, 7 appearances with the team, 1 start and 6 sub appearances, and he's got 6 goals with them in the Belgium top flight. Junior Hoylett, again, he's with Cardiff City. I know Cardiff City isn't doing so well, and they're one of the lower ranked teams, but you're playing in the Premier League, and he's one of their better players. I'm going to say Canada's going to win that game 4-0. I'm going to give it to them. I don't think, French Guiana is going to do much with that, so that's what I'm going to go with. So that ends the qualifier. So based on that, I guess League A, I'm going to say you're going to have your Mexico, United States, Costa Rica, Honduras, and Panama, and Trinidad and Tobago. I think joining them, I think just because Canada got a lucky draw, Canada is going to be the top-ranked team out of it. I think Haiti is going to be the second-ranked team. I think Curacao is going to sneak in. I think that might surprise some people, but I think Curacao is going to get in there, sneak into League A. Then as your 10th ranked team, I'm going to say it's going to be Jamaica. Jamaica, the only thing, they probably would have been higher, but for the fact that they played El Salvador, that's pretty tough. So I'm going to say Jamaica is going to get in there. El Salvador will be in there as well. And then the final team in League A, I'm going to say is Martinique. Yeah, I don't see much difference in that. League B, I'm going to say it's going to be Cuba, French Guiana, Guadeloupe, St. Kitts and Nevis, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Suriname, Guyana, Antigua and Bermuda, Bonaire, Grenada, Dominican Republic, Bahamas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and the final team is going to be the Cayman Islands. I think Cayman Islands will get in there. They're going to do a lot better than what I think. I think they're going to get in League B. League C is going to be Belize, Barbados, United States Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos, Dominica, Montserrat, St. Maarten, they're going to be right there, Aruba, Puerto Rico, the British Virgin Islands, and Anguilla. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. If you guys like this video, subscribe. I'm hopefully going to put out some more content in the near future when it kind of comes maybe after match day 1. Let me know what you think. Give me your predictions. If you think I'm wrong, I would like to hear from you. But yeah, let me know. Looking forward to it. Have a good one, guys.